Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is the 105 leFH18B2, the French Tier 5 Premium SPG that we know and love as VP La Pew Pew. You might know it as a leFhy or a leaf blower, or if you happen to be Jingles, you might call it because he can't pronounce it, or at least I don't think he wants to. Anyway, this one's located on the northeast corner of Live Oaks under the command of Mr. B. Yes, I know his name's something else, but if I do say that name, I'm afraid that YouTube are going to have a fit and actually derate our videos, and we don't want that to happen. So we call him Mr. B instead, and at least we can get away with that. It's better than calling him Dave anyway, because Dave's not his real name. Okay, well, he's taking up a firing position amongst the bushes to try and get closer to the enemy. And I think he's going to try and get a few shots on the middle of the map first before... Or is he going to shoot at the enemy tanks coming over the railway line? Oh, I think he's going to try and get a shot at any sneaky tank destroyer who's hiding just behind that hut. Nobody's spotted yet, but enemy tanks have been spotted coming up the railway line. And the first one to come over is an M10. He fires snap. Oh, that was so close to being a one-shot wipeout. That might have actually ended that M10's game just like that. But in the meantime, we're going to have a go at this Panther who thinks it's a smart move to park himself on the railway line. Not a smart move to do that when there's VPs in the game. We just saw Arty Tracer coming out from the woods, so we know where one of them is. Oh, that's a direct hit on the Panther. 2 Arty on either team. There's a Bishop and a VP on the enemy team, which means that it must have been the VP that was in the woods, because the Bishop has got too short a range to fire from that position. Okay, we've got a BK2801. Oh, he fired that one well over the top. Very sneaky VK, but he's a one-shot now. One shot, and oh, just missed it. Yes, he's only got 1 hit point, actually. But you only need 1 hit point to win the game. I've seen that happen so often. In fact, I've done a few replays. I think one of them was featuring a T-3485M, which only had 1 hit point for most of the game. And he managed to get, I think, a Radley Waters and a Kolobanov with his 1 hit point. Well, he fires blind. Mr. B has a habit of sometimes pulling back after he shoots. That's a bit late. I don't think he's quite got his eye in yet. Our T20 is spotting for us in the centre. That was close. The 40 TP is now in dreadful danger. He's not only being spotted by the T20, he's being shot at by the tank destroyers. Nice 158, and he's gone down. In fact, it was the Super Hellcat who nailed him. In the meantime, in the town, got a couple of enemy tanks, a Black Prince, an SU-122-44, and a Strip 74. Unfortunately, our Tiger 2 just met his end. Now, this game is a Tier 7 with Tier 5 tanks in it. In fact, it's the highest tier game that a VP can go into. It wasn't fully dialed in, and I think the Striv managed to avoid it. In fact, now we're relying on the Thunderbolt and the Super Chaffee to spot for us. And there's the Striv again. Rounds out, looks good. Yes, it was. And in fact, he got a penetrating shot on that one for 377. Now it's 410 alpha. So if he gets 377, he got a low roll. In the meantime, that SU-122-44's done a rash thing. He's run out ahead of his teammates. So he's got no support. And now he's been tracked. And he's receiving damage. And we're getting, I think, the assist. No, we didn't get any assists from that one. But that Black Prince has now stopped where he is. He's taking fire. And that was a penetrating shot as well for 474. This round's going in. Line short. Might be an idea to use one of those premium rounds. You'll take the guy out quicker. He's continuing to track him, but he needs to aim a little closer. Oh, that's a direct hit. Now, the other RT on our team is an SU-122 A. Oh, and that's a kill shot. He got him. His first kill of the game. Now we're one down on the enemy at the moment. They still have that Striv 74 in the town, but he can't have much in the way of hit points left. There's an enemy Hellcat over near the lake, and the rest of the enemy, well, if they appear to be coming up the railway line because we lost all our teammates that were trying to assault on that direction. Our T-20 sitting right in the middle of the lake, which is a bit of a dangerous position to be in. If the Hellcat is waiting for him to come out, then he could lose a lot of hit points very suddenly. And, well, here we got our first visitor is a Skoda T25, 3-shot autoloader with a 75mm gun. First shot misses, but as he gets closer, it'll be easier to hit him. That was the SU-122. That's a direct hit, and it's tracked him, but we did get spotted. Now we're going to get 3 rounds at us. Yeah, and our next shot doesn't take him out altogether. We're backing up so we're not spotted, and he's gone. The kill shot came in from the T67. We've changed position to avoid counter battery. Okay, looking towards the town. We still can't see that Striv 74. I was very worried for a second that we might get taken out by that Skoda. He took virtually all of our hit points. He's only got, Mr. B's only got 8 hit points left. But that's enough to win the game. Puts around behind the building to try and discourage that guy from staying there. Enemy Hellcat's gone to the end of the road, but he's more interested in this M10 RBFM. Oh, and he got a direct hit! Now, they've got thin armor, so any HE round is going to do a lot of damage. You can see that same Panther that he hit before, going after our T20. Okay, now he's tracked. Rounds out. Just misses him. Can we get another round in time? Nope, the T20 goes down to the M10. But that Panther's making a bit of a mistake. He turned his rear to us. And that's a huge mistake, but I think that's because he's trying to help the Hellcat, who's now in dreadful trouble, because he's actually met the T67. And, oh, no, that's not good. The T67 got wiped out. We fire snap. Oh, and he does get a kill shot with that one. Usually a mistake firing snap, but it worked on that occasion. Now there's 4 left on the enemy team, 3 on our team, 2 Artys and 1 tank destroyer, the Super Hellcat, who's hiding behind the buildings. From our current position, we can't see much because the bushes are in the way, but we do know that the M10 and the Panther are both on the railroad route, so they could be coming up that road towards us. And as we're not close enough to the bushes, we can't see where they are. The first warning we might get that they're there is if the Super Hellcat sees them from a distance away. So it was very unusual that the Panther turned direction and went back. There's the enemy Arty, and he's after us. He's firing blind. They know we're behind the bushes, and now they are firing. And it only took 1 round to do it. And now there's only 2 left on our team. We're outnumbered 2-1. And I'm not so sure that we're going to win this one because we've got an SU-122, which has a fairly long reload, and the Super Hellcat, who's badly wounded. And it looks like the other Arty's after him already because he's just taken a hit. And he's gone down to the M10. And that means now that the only player left on our team is the SU-122A. We do know he has some damage because he has actually been firing his gun. But yes, I'm afraid the Panthers arrived. And that's the last shot he'll get because the M10 goes in for the kill. And that's a defeat. Here's the end of battle stats, and that was an ace tanker game for Mr. B in the Fifi. He managed to get a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, he got 14, and he got the high caliber for dealing the most damage in the game, but sadly it was a defeat because they all got wiped out. And his win rate from that one was 5982, which is Super Unicum standard and a bit more. So he put in a lot of effort, but sadly they weren't able to keep it. And I think it was very difficult for him to move away from the firing position that he was in, because, of course, he was so short on hit points. The moment he was spotted, the enemy Arty was going to be on him like a shot, because they were already dialed in on that area. So let's have a look at team score. Well, there you go. The highest damage was 2,629 hit points, and the second highest damage went to the M10 RBFM on the enemy team. He got a Colonel's medal for killing 2 enemy tank or tank destroyers in a tank destroyer that were at least 1 tier higher than his own. He got 2,460 hit points, so he's not far off getting the high caliber as well, but that went to Mr. B. The third highest damage went to the Black Prince on the enemy team, and Mr. B saw to him. And when it came to kills, we can see the T67 came in second place because the top scorer was the M10 RBFM with 4 kills, T67 with 3 kills. He got a Halona's medal as well. And then we've got Mr. B, of course, picking up the high caliber. He got 2 kills in third place, along with the Super Hellcat, the SMB CC56, the Hellcat on the enemy team, and their Fifi. And of course, their Fifi was the one that killed Mr. B in the end. When it came to base XP, it was Mr. B. Yes, he got 739 based on the fact that he did so much damage in the game. Or was it? No, I'm wrong. I've got it completely wrong. It's the M10 RBFM. 1,564 went to him. And in joint second place, I should say, is Mr. B and the Black Prince. They both got 739 exactly. And in third place was the VK2801105, who managed 713. So yes, I correct my mistake. The M10 RBFM got the best XP out of that game, and he was the only one to get over 1,000 base. He fired 34 rounds, so he still had plenty of ammo left at the end of the game, although he did have rather a large number of heat rounds, 12 direct hits on the enemy, 4 penetrating shots, and 15 splash. Damage of 2,629 hit points, of which 2,420 were at more than 300 meters. You can see there was some close range action on that Skoda. 4 hits received from the enemy, 4 penetrations. I'm afraid, yes, he did take 3 shots from the Skoda and also 1 hit from the enemy Fifi at the end of the game, which the kill shot on him. 8 enemy vehicles were damaged, 2 were killed, and he got 611 hit points of damage assistance. Now, even though it was a loss, he still made a whacking great profit of 99,846 credits. And you can put that down to the fact he got a mission completion in there, as well as the courageous resistance. Now, mission completion, that's because obviously there was a mission involved, but he actually got the courageous resistance because he got the high caliber in the game, and that's a reward. The courageous resistance is a reward for an exceptional performance in the game. It's designed to actually equal your score with that of the enemy, be called the winning team, simply because you did so well in the game to get a medal. He also picked up 2,423 XP as well, and he says, well, it's a loss, the mastery badge feels like a hollow reward. Well, yes, but I think it was actually your teammates that let you down because there was nobody to scout for you to actually spot where the enemy tanks were. After the T20 got wiped out, there was nobody further down the railway line. At the very least, the Super Hellcat could have come over to your position, and then he would have acted as your eyes, even if he was sitting inside the bush, not firing. And that would have allowed you to keep firing at the enemy as they were making their way up the railway line. I know that Panther turned around as if he was going to go back, but it did look as if the M10 was going to keep coming forward, and he did in the end. But I think the big mistake was down to the fact that they didn't position themselves in such a way that they can enable the Fifi to keep firing at the enemy, because of course you are the most lethal teammate because of your fast fire rate and your high alpha. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that replay. If you did, please give this video a like, do subscribe to our channel, leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm, and thank you for watching.